Today, we will be learning about the I24 High Performance Leak Test Instrument. The purpose of the I24 tester on tube assemblies is to prevent shipment of defective products. The tester indicates whether there are leaks in the tube by asserting a certain tolerance depending on the type of product being tested. If the test result is within the tolerance, the part is good and contains no leaks. If the results are not within the limits, then the product is bad and will have to be removed from the production line, retested, reworked, or scrapped. First, we will be breaking down the parts of the I24 tester.
First, we have the power switch. This switch turns the unit on or off. The display screen shows the type of part being tested and indicates what step the test is on.
When testing, the display screen will indicate the current pressure and a target pressure. On top, you see we are testing a medium-sized part at 95 psi. However, the current pressure 91.6 psi is below the target pressure of 95. In order to increase this, we must turn the pressure control valve on the bottom of the I24.
To increase the pressure, tighten the valve by turning the knob clockwise. To decrease the pressure, loosen the valve by turning the knob counterclockwise. Next to the pressure control valve, you'll see the connection for plugging the tester, which is done when performing the weekly self-test, or connecting it to a testing hose to be used on a unit.
Here you see the control panel for the I24.
Use the hold button to pause the tester in order to set the required pressure. Use the Change Part button when choosing which type of test is required for the unit you are testing.
The Self-Test button is for performing the weekly self-test.
Use the AutoCalibrate button anytime you are doing a new unit, beginning a new run, or continuing work the next morning.
Use the Monitor button to return the display to the original testing screen. And here are the Start and Stop buttons for beginning and canceling the test.
This is the gas shutoff valve on the back side of the tester. The gas is off when the valve is perpendicular to the gas line, and you can see there is no pressure on the gauge. Red dot mainly uses nitrogen, a harmless gas which makes up nearly 80% of Earth's atmosphere, as the primary test gas for all tube assemblies. Turn the gas on by turning the valve parallel with the gas line. You'll know the valve is open when you see the pressure raise on the gauge. Verify the pressure is 100 to 110 psi.
Now we will go over how to operate and test with the I24 tester.
Start by turning the gas on using the valve on the back of the tester. Verify the pressure is 100 to 110 psi. If the pressure is not within range and you are using a gas tank to test, then close the gas valve and disconnect the tank from the tester. Replace the tank with a full one. If you are using a direct line to test and the pressure isn't within range, notify your lead and they will make a maintenance request if needed.
Next, make sure the I24 is properly plugged into a power outlet. Using the power switch, turn the I24 tester on and wait for the machine to ready itself.
Now we are going to be performing the weekly self-test.
At the beginning of every week, you must self-test the I24 tester. This assures the tester itself is not leaking, so test results will be accurate. Remove the hose connector from the bottom of the I24 and replace it with the self-test plug held underneath each tester, making sure it is secured properly. In order to perform the weekly self-test, you must first press the self-test button on the control panel. Scroll down with the down arrow until you reach self-test. Press the edit button once. Press the left or right arrow once so the display changes to yes. Press enter once and then double check you have inserted the self-test plug. With the self-test prepared, press start to begin the test. Immediately after the test has begun, press the hold button to pause the test. The self-test uses 95 psi as the target pressure, so adjust the pressure using the pressure control valve on the bottom of the tester. Loosen to decrease the pressure, and tighten to increase the pressure until you have reached 95 psi. Press the hold button again to complete the test. If the self-test is a success, locate the paper alongside the tester, then date and initial it, verifying you have performed that week's test. If the test is a failure, notify your lead and they will contact the proper personnel to replace or repair the I24 tester. Hit the monitor button to return to the test screen.
To finish, remove the self-test plug and place the hose connector to where the plug was previously. Make sure it is properly secured. Place the self-test cap back underneath the unit. Now we are going to learn about auto-calibrating and testing units with the I24. Before testing any units, double check that the weekly self-test has been completed and the accompanying paper has been dated and initialed.
Anytime you are testing a new unit, beginning a run, or continuing work the next morning, the tester must be auto-calibrated to assure accurate test results. In order to do this, choose the correct type of test required for the unit using the Change Part button. Hold the Change Part button, then use the arrow keys to scroll to a specific test setting for the unit, or enter Part 1 and scroll back through all of the parts until you reach the test you need. If you are unsure what test to use, refer to the corresponding method sheet or blueprint for that unit. If you are still unsure, ask your lead to verify what test to use. Begin by locating the proper testing clamp for the unit you are going to test. Connect the testing clamp to the testing hose and then properly secure that to the unit. In this example, the pressure is too low at 91.6 psi, while the target is 95 psi. Tighten the pressure control valve until it reaches the target 95 psi. If the pressure was above the target, simply loosen the control valve to lower the pressure to the desired amount. Once you have reached the target pressure, press stop to release the pressure. Once the pressure has released, press the Auto Calibrate button to prepare the test. Then, press the Start button to begin. You'll know you are auto-calibrating when the Auto Calibrate symbol on the display is illuminated. Allow the auto calibration to finish. If the test is a success, the unit is good and can be used in production. If the test is a failure, the product is bad and must be removed from the production line to be retested, reworked, or scrapped. Whenever you are finished testing, remember to turn off the power to the I24 tester using the power switch, and shut off the gas by returning the valve to the perpendicular position. Here are the operation guidelines for using the I24 when testing a product. The I24 tester is a very accurate but sensitive test instrument. Care should be taken to ensure a stable environment for test purposes. The test results are displayed in cubic centimeters and may vary widely from the normal range. This variance is almost always due to a fluctuation in temperature. To assure proper test readings, the parts must be fully cooled and at room temperature. If the parts are still warm to the touch, allow them to cool while preparing what else you can for your step. Air movement and temperature are the main variables in the test. Make sure there are no cold breezes from open doors, heaters, fans, or air conditioners blowing air on parts, and no air tool exhaust. Even heat from your hand can affect the test. Make sure not to touch the testing clamps, as moving or bumping the unit during the test cycle can disrupt the test results. Placing the test part in an enclosure or covering will greatly reduce air movement and produce more consistent results. Sometimes a part fails and the screen displays the error message "severe leak," meaning a large leak should be present. The escaping air from severe leaks should be audible when near the unit. First, check the testing clamps in the part for any noticeable leaks. Make sure every fitting is torqued to the right amount according to the method sheet or blueprint. Then verify the gas is turned on with proper pressure, and make sure the test pressure matches the target pressure for the part being tested. If this does not fix the issue, attempt to find the leak in the core. Then call your lead so they can take the core with the correct routing slip back to the core area to be fixed. When a unit is failing consistently with a large positive test result, verify the correct program is being used for the given part and the current pressure matches the target pressure. Check all test clamps and fittings for leaks, making sure all torques are correct per the method sheet and/or blueprint. If all of this is correct and the parts are completely cooled, yet you still have a leak, then run the auto calibrate with a known good part and retest. If this does not fix the issue, attempt to find the leak in the core. Then call your lead so they can take the core with the correct routing slip back to the core area to be fixed. When a unit is failing consistently with a large negative test result, this means the part is likely heating up during the test. Isolate the part from any external heat sources and retest. If the part fails again, run the auto calibrate with a known good part and retest. If this does not fix the issue, attempt to find the leak in the core. Then call your lead so they can take the core with the correct routing slip back to the core area to be fixed. Now that we know everything needed to operate the I24, let's go back over some important points to remember when using the tester. Follow your operation guidelines and make sure the parts are at room temperature and the environment is stable with little to no air movement around the unit. When troubleshooting a product, first verify the test program you are using is correct for that type of unit. Make sure the current pressure matches the target pressure, then check the test clamps and torque fittings before removing the unit from the line to check any cores for leaks. The weekly self-test must be done on Monday of every week or the test results may be inaccurate. Double-check the paper has been signed and dated before testing. The I24 must be auto-calibrated whenever testing a new unit, at the beginning of a new run, or when continuing work in the morning.
Unless otherwise noted on the method sheet or blueprint, Red Dot tests all of its heating cores at 50 psi. If those cores have water valves or hoses on them, they are tested at 30 psi. Red Dot's evaporators and condensers are tested at 95 psi.
Whenever you are done testing, remember to always turn off the power to the tester and shut off the gas by returning the gas valve on the back of the unit to the perpendicular position. Before we're done, let's go over some evaluation criteria for the I24. Identify the operation guidelines and environmental conditions to remember when testing any unit. The parts are at room temperature. There is little to no air movement around the product. A cover or enclosure will produce more stable results. Demonstrate how to turn on and operate the I24 tester. How to check the gas is on, power is plugged in, and turning the tester on with the power switch. How to use the Change Part button to choose the type of test needed. How to perform the weekly self-test and auto-calibration. Know what to do when troubleshooting a severe leak, large positive, and large negative test results. With a severe leak, check the current pressure matches the target pressure for that test. All clamps and fittings are tight, then check the core for defects. With a large positive leak, do the same as with a severe leak. With a large negative leak, allow the part to cool, or isolate it from external heat sources or from air movement with a cover or enclosure. That's all you need to know to begin operation of the I24 High Performance Leak Tester. If you have any questions, make sure to ask your lead or coworkers for guidance. Thank you for your contribution toward making Red Dot a better company, and here's to 50 more great years of service.